Today's topic, guys, we are looking at CV and interview preparation, tips and tricks to land the dream job. So obviously this is something that's really important. We want to make sure that when we are going into interviews, that we're setting up for success. So just as an overall introduction for our August webinars, today we'll be doing job interview preparation, which is probably one of the most important and something that you can really easily succeed in if done well. Then we'll have top CV mistakes you don't know you're making. Make sure you watch the SAS Job Hunting Accelerator. All 4 of our sessions are available on our website. So guys, make sure to check that out. I'm really excited to be getting straight into this one with you. So when you actually do get a job interview, what is it that you actually can do to prepare for success? When going for a job interview, the way I always look at it is that you need to make sure that you're ticking as many boxes as you can to make sure you're set up. So what I always say is there's 5 things you need to make sure that you're researching. And the first of those is, what do they sell? So whether you're working in a development team, project team, or in the sales team, you need to understand what it is that these businesses are actually selling, and also who are they selling to? What target market are these people going after? Are they going after people that are in a SMB market? Who are they selling to? So what type of people are they selling to? Are they selling to businesses? Are they selling to customers? So it's about knowing who it is that these guys are actually selling to as well. So then we have, what markets do they sell to? This is really important, guys, because when you're actually in the interview process, if you don't understand what market you're selling to, you can't explain how you're going to be the right person for this role. So for example, if my skills are all in the enterprise market, most likely I'm going to want to start selling into the enterprise market again. That way then I'm going to be in best stead for success. So make sure that you understand what markets you're working in, what markets these guys are targeting. If there's been changes over the last while, something really good is to have a look and see, has that demographic changed over a period of time? And then as well, what size business are they? It's really important to know whether you're joining a business that has 3 to 5 people, 200, 500 people, or thousands. You need to understand what size they are. And the reason why is you need to be able to talk to people in a level of, if you're in a startup, for example, it's going to be a lot more hands-on. There's a lot more ad hoc jobs that come into place. And if you've got that experience, if you know how to work in a startup, it's really important to be able to mention that. And same way as in a very big business where it's a very corporate environment, if you're used to working in that environment, very important that you relay that back so these guys understand that. And make sure that you know exactly who it is that, or how big it is that they are. And you can find that information out very easily, guys. You can actually go onto LinkedIn. If you go onto the company page, and when you go on the company page, it actually says how many employees they have. And that gives you a really good guide as to what size business this is. And then, very important, who will your boss be? Really, really important here. If you go and do a little bit of research on LinkedIn, so the way I would do it, and we can pretend that I have a job interview with Ingenio. If I've been offered an interview with Ingenio, I'm going to check who's the CEO in this business. I can see that obviously they're a recruitment business. What do they sell? They obviously sell professionals to other businesses. Who do they sell to? So they're a SaaS recruitment agency. They only work with SaaS businesses. What markets do they sell to? SMB to medium. I can see that from the clients that they've announced. A lot of startups and a lot of businesses that are going through extreme growth periods. And what size are they? So I can see that they've got this many employees here at the moment. So brilliant. I'm going to have all that information so that when I speak to that boss, who will be Rob McGee in this instance, I can have that information and tell him, I've done my homework into your business. I know what's happening here. And this is why I'm the suitable candidate. When you're looking into who your boss will be, really important. If it's not clear on a business, for example, you're in you've applied for a role with a much larger organization, it's great that you can have a look and see who the department head is. For example, you can check if there's a team lead. You can check if there's for example, in sales, a sales manager. What I would always do is have a look and see If you people that are at the level that you're applying for, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, look, I can see you've recently got a job here. I'm actually interviewing at the moment. I haven't been told who exactly the boss will be, but this is what the team I'm applying for. Do you know who the best person to look after would be? That gives you an idea, so you can look onto their profile. You can actually see who it is that is going to be interviewing you. And also, it's really good for you to make sure that you have a little bit of background on them also. It's a really good way to impress these guys. The key question I'm always asked whenever we do interview preparation for any role: what do I need to prepare? What is it that's actually going to be important about this prep session? How can I maximize the time that I'm using there? So what I would always do is I'd always prepare answers for some common questions. If I know the role I'm looking into, for example, if it's a sales role, I know that there are certain questions that are definitely going to be asked. If it's a junior sales role, I'm going to be asked, why do I want to go into sales? If it's a senior sales role, it's going to be, why do you want to work for my business? Why do you want to work for Ingenio, Ethan? And I need to make sure that I've got a very clear and concise answer for that. If I don't have an answer for that, it really takes away the power of the interview. You need to make sure that you have that preparation done. I think a really good one as well is, obviously, when you are preparing for interviews, there are the old cliche questions that have to be asked. Always make sure to know your strengths and weaknesses. Always make sure to know, again, what it is the business do. With a lot of candidates, the first question that get asked from a lot of my clients is, okay, what do you understand about our business? Make sure you have your research done. Make sure you have the answer to that question. I've had many people who have been fantastic people on a skills basis, so very strong skills in sales, but if they weren't able to tell what the business do, it just shows a lack of research done and really takes away from the power of the interview so far. So make sure to have those type of questions prepared. And really important, prepare you. Make sure that you review who you are, what it is you do, what you've done, how you've done it, and then relax. Very simple, guys. When you're going into an interview, for example, I can speak primarily about sales roles because that's what I recruit for. I know that when somebody asks one of my candidates about them, the first thing I always say is start with what you've done most recently, work your way backwards, have a few points on each role, talk about the key points that are relevant to each application that you have. For example, if I'm going for an enterprise sales role, talk about the enterprise clients that you brought on, talk about the targets that you've hit, make sure that you're mentioning, I had a target of 20K a month, and for the last 6 months, I've hit 105% of my target or 90% of my target. Make sure that you have these answers ready to go. There's nothing worse than inside an interview when somebody starts fumbling and it's like, oh, tell me about your time at this company. Oh, well, yeah, it was okay. As you can see, that it just creates a really it doesn't give you a chance to connect with the people. It doesn't give you a chance to tell your story. When you're in an interview, what you want to do is make sure that you're highlighting your best bits. So that's an easy way to make sure to do that. I think with anyone who is preparing for an interview as well, when you're looking at businesses and the opportunities that you need to apply for, make sure you pick the parallels in your profile. So like I said, if you're working in enterprise roles and this is an enterprise opportunity, talk about your enterprise experience. If you're in an IT role where as a JavaScript developer, for example, and your job and the job spec says that you're going to be creating the front-end platform here, make sure you talk about where you've done that in previous roles. Make sure you have that ready to go, so that when they ask that question, you can just say, yes, well, now, Mr. Interviewer or Mrs. Interviewer, this is actually what I did, and here's how I did it. When you're in an interview, if you start kind of stuttering and start thinking, oh, I don't really know here, it can really take away from the power of you. When you're interviewing, these people, they're not just interviewing for the skills, they're interviewing for you, for your personality. They want to see what you're going to be like in the business. If you can give these answers very quick and you prepared for an interview, be that a first stage, second stage, a final stage, even if it's an interview where you know, right, I've been told that basically I'm getting the job, but I'm just meeting the CEO. They are the interviews you should be preparing for the most. This is your chance to impress that person. This is your chance to really leave a mark. If you can imagine there's going to be 2 people applying for this job, you've one that's really researched the business, knows exactly who the target demographic are, knows the market, and has done a little bit of research into who the hiring manager is, trying to find parallels. Oh, you worked at this business, I've also worked there, or I know this person who's worked there who can actually vouch for me. This is going to be the person that's really memorable, compared to the person who goes into the interview thinking, oh, well, I've done plenty of interviews, I don't really need to do any more research. So really important to do your research, guys. It's probably the most important part of the interview process. If you've done a lot of research and if you've really, really prepared yourself, you can set yourself up for any question that comes, really. There's obviously going to be a few curveball questions every now and then, something that obscure that comes up. But for the most part, you'll be in good hands. Guys, it's really important as well, because I think what's great about what we do here at Ingenio Learning is that we provide a course on teaching people how to get hired in SaaS and in tech. I've placed many people myself who haven't come from a technology background. We work with them daily, where they basically have experience in other industries which are very relevant, and we make sure that we're able to bridge that gap in between. So a lot of the success from Ingenio Learning comes from our students. 90% of our students actually get hired in 90 days, which is an absolutely outstanding statistic. It's really, really good to see that. And yes, I think whenever I hear any company say that, I say, where's the proof? And here it is, guys. These are some of our students. These are people who, like you, have had an interest in how to get hired in tech. These are people who have basically applied what techniques we've taught them through our course, through our one-to-one coaching, and these people have actually got jobs from that. So really exciting, and guys, really, really relevant as well to anyone that's looking to get into that SaaS space. And really important is who are the businesses that these people get hired by. When we talk about the businesses, we're talking about some big names here. We've got Salesforce, Zendesk, we've got WeWork, Kefron, Extreme Push, Dropbox, Box. We've got, and that's just a few of the clients that we work with, who they are not even just clients, but people who got jobs from doing the course that we provide. So some absolutely outstanding names there, some really big businesses, also some startups in there as well. So a nice mix, guys. So definitely have to check that out. As you can see, we are offering a one-time discount today. So this is for anyone that is here on the webinar with us who would like to actually apply for the course. We do have a discount of 60%, so it's $39.99. This offer will expire on Friday, but also we do have a bit of exciting news there as well, because for the last couple of days we have been running competition on LinkedIn. And what that competition was for is for someone to get the How to Get Hired by a Tech Company course. And we've actually got a winner from that. So our winner today is Jed Hall, Dan Vantari. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And what will happen is that Jed Hall, someone within our Ingenio Learning team, will reach out to you within the next 24 hours, telling you how to redeem that. And congratulations on winning it. So as well, guys, really important, if you are looking for one-to-one coaching, we do offer this as a service. How can you better yourself through doing the course? Obviously is one way. If you find that you are struggling, you are getting to a stage where there's one point you keep getting knocked down, maybe it's time to look into one-to-one coaching. Maybe this is a case where you sit down with our CEO, Rob McGee, where he gives you a very thorough examination of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and helps you to better that process and helps you essentially get that job in tech.